Ooh, that was nice. Now that I done grew into my hat, we're gonna be looking for fungus. I'm your adventure artist, AJ Moore, and I'm ready to do this. It's all about the fungi today, all about the mushrooms, y'all. So let's go out and find some mushrooms. And it's gonna be shroomy too, baby, because it's nature, y'all. Well, here we are again, adventurers. Your narrator here, along to lend our adventurer a hand in the mushroom land. Wait, is that from a song? I see a mushroom. Ooh, I spied 2 mushrooms. This one right here is the Russula brevine. The gills underneath it there. This is also called the short stem Russula. And this one is believed to be edible, but you should never eat a mushroom that you do not know, because it can mess you up real bad. I'm probably gonna say that a million times. So we're gonna compare it to this one over here. Look over here. Let's compare and contrast. Look at the sides. Look at the size of it there. See this one right here? This one's called the Black Disc Lepiota.
Black Disc Lepiota.
I don't know if this one's edible at all, but this is a common one that grows around here. Now, the little disc, the little part in the middle, it could either be a black as it gets larger, or it could be a purplish brown. Right now, this is a young one, so it's purplish brown. Now, this Russula is a lot larger, a lot thicker. All right, we found 2. Now we're gonna look for some more. There's probably tons of them out here. Yeah, so I'm just out here just looking for fungus on this trail. And you know, probably when you guys go out walking and stuff like that, just pay attention to what's growing on the side, because there's always some type of fungus or something. And some of them are beautiful, and then some you really have to look for because they blend in with the ground. Speaking of beautiful, check these out right here. And those are called Suillus Spraguei.
Suillus Spraguei.
They also can be called the painted Suillus. These fungus are edible, and they were introduced to the south, but they're mainly a northern fungus, and they're often associated with pines. These particular fungus are in the family Suilliaceae, and many other species in that family are edible. Look at this one over here. This one looks like it's been torn up. You can see it there. You see the gills and stuff. It looks like something's been eaten on this one. Probably a little mouse or something. Now these are mostly associated with pines. And like most fungus like this, they produce spores that they send out to grow more fungus. Now there's a parasite, a white parasite fungus that gets on these, and it makes them turn white and they shrivel up. Kind of like you see when, like, if you have a dog or a cat and you see a dog's turd, it turns white. It's similar to that. The fungus gets all over it and it'll kill it off. But isn't that cool, like a fungus killing off another fungus? But yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful shroom here. But yeah, it's nice. Let's go find some more. You know, the best time to find fungus and mushrooms is always after a rain, when stuff is really, really damp or moist. And like this right here, I believe this is a type of candlestick fungus.
Candlestick fungus.
You know, the fruit bodies are elongated. And when I say fruit bodies, I mean the shape of the mushroom or the fungus. So I'm gonna lift this log without, and see how they're all growing. They all stick out. It's like candlestick fungus. This type of fungus loves to grow on logs, any decaying log. It loves it. It absolutely loves decaying logs. And it's growing all over this thing coming out. If this log was in a horror movie, this would be Pinhead. And all these little fungus are growing out. Candlestick fungus, and I almost dropped the candlestick. Probably all on these little ones out here. These little spores are going to spread and grow on these other logs over here eventually. And it's going to decompose it. But yeah, that's candlestick fungus. Trying to see was there any more around here, but that's it in this area. Let's move on. We finding a lot of stuff today, ain't we? Woo-wee. If I don't slip down, we're gonna find us another shroom, I tell you what. And look at this one right here. This one, I'm not really sure of the species, but it could be a dung roundhead mushroom.
Dung roundhead mushroom.
Or a half globe mushroom. They grow up really tall. As you can see, this one, it's like, you know, a couple inches next to my hand. And the tops are like a mocha coffee color on the top. They're a very common mushroom, and they get their name because they often grow on dung and or doo-doo. Let's move on, find more, because there's tons out here. Look at this. And this is called the wood ear.
Wood ear mushroom.
They also call it the jelly ear because it resembles the cartilage that shapes our ears. They're beautiful, like the sun on the other side, it shines through. In 3D, that's called subsurface scattering.
Subsurface scattering, or SSS, is a 3D animation term. SSS is a mechanism of light transport, in which light that penetrates the surface of a translucent object is scattered. You can see SSS on your hands and ears if you place them in front of a light source. Enough animation talk. Back to nature.
But yeah, they like to attach to decaying trees. Sorry, little jelly ear. I would like to point out a lot of these mushrooms that I'm finding, if you look up this hill here, these trails that come down, that's where the water comes down from up there. And most of the mushrooms are found in the path of that water because that's where most of the decaying stuff is when it gets wet. So it's just another thing to look for. Just like this, down this path right here, it leads right to this one. And this one right here, this is called the red-capped butter bolete.
Red-capped butter bolete.
Now these are common. These get really large too. Probably about that big around. But this mushroom's only gonna last until it gets dry out here. Barely even a day. But this is a very common one that you'll see out here that gets very large and it's very beautiful. So let's roll. You know, guys, I've been walking around looking at these trees, and you probably see this too if you look at trees where you live, is these white patches. They're almost like a lightish bluish white patches. These are called lichen.
Actually, adventurer, it is pronounced as lichen
Lichen.
or lichen.
Lichen.
But carry on.
And it's very similar to fungi, but the difference is that when the fungi and algae have this symbiotic relationship, you know, almost like Spider-Man and the symbiote, right? They produce lichen.
Lichen.
And this lichen can survive in so many different types of climates. And it's all over the world, so it could be really wet, it could be really dry. Look at that. Look at these pieces here. This particular type is called the Greenshield lichen, which is very common.
Greenshield lichen.
They're very plant-like, but they're not plants. These lichen can live about 30 to 60 years. You see, there's 3 different types of lichen out there. There is, and they sound kind of funny. This is the crustose, the foliose, which is this one here, and the fruticose. So that's 3 different types. Now the folios have the more leafy. Look at this. But this is the golden eye lichen right here.
Golden-eyed lichen.
This is a twig lichen, which means it only likes to grow on twigs. You won't see this on any rocks. And they call it the golden eye because of those little golden little pieces on there. See though, that's how they bloom. All right, let's move on. Look at this right here. This is, I don't even know what this is, y'all. I can't even front. I don't know what this is. It looks like a Hypocrea
Hypocrea.
type of fungus, which is a genus of the family Hypocreaceae. And they like to attach to rotting wood. And they can attach to trees that are actually living, but the area right here is rotted. It looks as though some kind of sap or something is coming out of it as well. It's kind of fuzzy, almost like a peach. This is interesting right here. See this little bug right here? Don't let it fool you. It's alive. They're called a junk bug.
Junk bug.
See if I touch him, look. Look at him. See him moving? He's carrying all that junk on his back. That's the camouflage. And he's going to use that to make like a nest and turn into, I don't know what.
Though we appreciate your honesty, adventurer, the junk bug is actually the larvae of a green lacewing. It uses the junk to disguise itself when ambushing smaller insects. Crafty.
So there's a fungus with a junk bug next to it. Let's take off and look for more. It's another little fungi. Ooh, it's 2 different types of fungi. Look at this one. Looks like a young Suillus Paulster.
Suillus Paulster.
Now this one right below it, this looks like a Gelatinous Polypore.
Gelatinous Polypore.
Now this likes to attach itself to any kind of logs. It only grows on logs and it's almost like layered. It's a bracket fungus, which means it like grows on, attaches itself almost like brackets. That's what it's doing down here with this piece. And this is just another log right here. You can see how it's just growing along. See how leaves are even stuck in it? That leaf is stuck inside it. And there's a whole bunch of them down here. Here's another small one here. I don't know what species that is. It's another tiny little shroom. Look at this. These are growing out of a leaf. Fungus is just extraordinary how it can survive. Wow, man, we're finding some good stuff out here. It's just so quiet out here. Just pay attention and look for them. They're all out here being fungus and stuff.
Fungi are in a kingdom of their own, but are genetically closer to humans than plants. They breathe oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide just like us. There are 1,000 different species of fungi. Some you can eat, while some are poisonous. Some cause disease, some cure disease, but they are all vital to our environment. More than 80% of the ground underneath your feet is fungus. So watch where you step, adventurers.
So that was the adventure, y'all. We found a whole bunch of shrooms today. So why don't you go out in the area after a rain and go look for some shrooms. Go look, check your garden, check underneath logs and stuff. because there's a whole bunch of them that you can find. So I'm your adventure artist, AJ Morrison. Thank you guys for joining me on this adventure, and I hope to see you on the next one, because it's going to be wild and crazy, because it's nature, y'all. So thanks for watching this episode, y'all. I really hope I earned your like. And drop me a comment, let me know what you thought, which fungus you like, or lichen and whatnot. And come on now, subscribe so you can get more stuff like this. All right, thanks y'all. Be cool.